Yay Networks.
13 has been my lucky number for a while. Like, it's always a sign of good things to come for me.
This is 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast, breaking down every song, every Easter egg, every era, and every theory. Hosted by the biggest Swifties, Nick Adams, Anna Casillejos, Amy Nichols, and Lacey G.
Welcome to 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. My name's Nick Adams.
I'm Anna.
Amy. And I'm Lacey G.
And today we got to get to a theory that Swifties have been talking about for years. It's a theory that I wholeheartedly want to believe is true.
Me too.
Karma.
Yes.
It's a very triggering word for the Swiftie community. A la 5 holes in a fence.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
I know. I need a trigger warning every single time.
But what is karma? We got to get into it, and we're going to break it all down in this episode.
Yes, and I'm so excited because when it comes to Taylor Swift theories, we obviously know that we have a lot. I think karma is one of my absolute favorites. Not only do I want it to be true, I think it is true.
There's lots of evidence that says it is true.
I believe in karma, and we've kind of talked about it, mentioned it in past episodes, but we have been getting a few DMs lately from new listeners or people that haven't listened to our older episodes wondering, hey, have you guys heard about karma? What do you think? We want your opinions on it. So we decided to do a whole episode dedicated to one of the best theories of all time, Karma, the Lost Album. So let me walk you through it, okay? So the theory is basically that Taylor was working on an album after 1989, but then when everything went down with Kim and Kanye in 2016, she scrapped it and wrote Reputation instead. Mm-hmm. That's kind of like the overall theory. So let's get into the details, okay? So from 2016 to 2014, Taylor released a new album every 2 years like clockwork. And every time we got towards the end of an era, she would kind of start hinting at a new look or a new aesthetic for the next one. We know like at the end of the Red Tour, she cut her hair into the iconic 1989 bob. You know, it's just kind of, she was always very subtly like leading into it, and we always knew when there was like a new era that was coming, right?
Yeah.
So debut album 2006, Fearless 2008, Speak Now 2010, Red 2012, 1989 2014, Reputation 2017.
3 years.
3 years. That's a little off, right? So towards the end of the Red era, she cut her hair to the iconic 1989 style, and then towards the end of the 1989 era is when she started sporting what we like to call Bleachella.
And how do we feel about this look overall? Did we like the vibe?
At first, it was because it was like bleach. I mean, bleach.
It was very dramatic.
Shocking.
Yeah,
it was very dramatic. It was very shocking. I think of when she went to the Met Gala.
Yes,
and she had like the black lipstick
with Tom Hiddleston.
Yes, and like that kind of like short blackish dress. And it's like in that day and that look, it was very shocking. But then there was other times where she had the bleach hair, but she was wearing like a flannel shirt and like a
just regular clothes,
more like 90s-esque kind of like vibe, and people were like, oh my gosh, she's kind of going 90s because 90s is what happens after 1989. You know, it kind of started making sense. And on the 1989 tour, you know, we got the rock version of We Are Never Getting Back Together. She did a song with Mick Jagger at one tour, so she was kind of, fans were starting to think, is the next era going to be more rock-esque, maybe more 90s vibe? Like, are these hints or are these clues that we're kind of getting, right? And so that was kind of what we were on track for, right? So a lot of 2016, she has the bleach hair, we're Bleachella, we're ready. But right before the 2-year mark of 1989, where we should be getting the next album, is when she had the very public feud with Kim and Kanye. So Kanye basically claims that he asked Taylor for approval on the song Famous. And Taylor did know of the song. We know that they talked on the phone together, but Taylor did not know of the line, I made that bitch famous. And that's when she said, I want to be excluded from this narrative. I did not know about that line. Kim later posted the video on Snapchat.
Oh, that video.
Edited.
That video.
Edited video on Snapchat of the phone call, but before the public knew that it was edited. I mean, we as Swifties always had Taylor's back, obviously. But the public just immediately sided with Kim and Kanye, being like, oh my God, Taylor Swift is fake. Hashtag Taylor Swift is over party.
Sure. And when if you're a average fan, or if you're just someone that's looking at celebrity gossip, I probably would not believe Taylor either.
Right, that evidence is damning when there's a video.
And if you're not, a Swiftie is going to dissect every word that was said in that video that we saw, and there's never any mention of the lyric where he's calling her a bitch.
Right.
There's never any of that. She's on the phone saying, yeah, that's cool.
like the song.
And we can hear her saying it, and he's telling her some of the lyrics, and he's even saying something about like, I slept with Taylor. Like he's saying that they hooked up.
And she thought that was funny.
She's fine with that. She thought it was funny. But yeah, when you dissect every word, like, no, what Taylor's still saying is true. She wasn't made aware of that specific degrading lyric, and that's what she didn't have a problem with. So yeah, for the average fan, I probably would take Kim and Kanye's side.
Well, here's the problem. Everybody loves a good scandal, and people will not listen to the evidence and just automatically choose a side. And that's whenever it becomes the worst game of telephone. Whenever it's like, oh, well, so-and-so said this, but then you go back and listen to it. People have done that to us on the radio show specifically. Taken something and blown it out of context. And then it's like, no, but the evidence is still here. It's been posted this whole time. But then people want to believe it because it's a good scandal. This is a girl who's never done anything wrong. And now she's going to go down for all of her wicked crimes and everything else. So, and there is evidence, even though it was edited.
Well, and it was just annoying too because around this time, even a little bit before, this is when the public narrative of Taylor was, oh, she only writes songs about her boyfriend and her exes.
She dates too much.
Around and whatever. And I think people that weren't fans of hers, the average person, whatever, it was like cool to hate Taylor Swift.
Well,
like,
I think,
unfortunately,
I think it started being cool with when this video came out, and the whole Kim and Kanye thing, because at the time you got to think that Taylor she just won Album of the Year for the second time with 1989. She was one of, if not the biggest things in music. And then Lacey, like you're saying, people love a good scandal. Like Kim was still obviously very popular and stuff, but she was still a little tabloidy, not quite as respected as she was then. So I think Taylor was kind of on a higher pedestal than Kim was at the time. And now you've got this villain from her past coming back to haunt her, and it made for a great scandal.
Yeah. And the specific lyric, it's discrediting her. That's
totally.
What pissed her off the most.
Yeah. Well, and it's annoying too because people will use that lyric as like, well, Kanye made her famous. It's like, no, literally in 2009 when that happened, she was accepting an award.
She won an award.
She won an award. Like that is so annoying. Like it is so absolutely annoying. And a lot of people, like a lot of diehard Swifties always say that you can't call yourself a Swiftie if you weren't defending Taylor in 2016. That's like a big thing. But anyway, and that's basically what the Miss Americana documentary is about. So if you haven't watched that yet, highly recommend. But after all that happened, it was like hashtag Taylor Swift is over party, a bunch of the snake emojis. Her social media got drowned with snake emojis. Even like Kim Kardashian was posting like, oh, it's National Snake Day, whatever.
And do you remember in Miss Americana when she said, do you realize how many people have to be tweeting that they hate you for the hashtag Taylor Swift is over party?
To trend worldwide.
Yes.
Worldwide.
I have this clip. I have that clip right here if you'd like to hear it.
I would.
Hashtag Taylor Swift is over party was the #1 trend on Twitter worldwide. Do you know how many people have to be tweeting that they hate you for that to happen?
We're people who got into this line of work because we wanted people to like us, because we were intrinsically insecure, because we liked the sound of people clapping because it made us forget about how much we feel like we're not good enough. And I've been doing this for 15 years and I'm tired of it. I'm just tired of the... Just feels like it's more than music now at this point.
Heartbreaking.
Oh my God, I want to cry.
Heartbreaking.
Sometimes in life things happen. Maybe you got to deal with a divorce. Maybe you got to deal with a failed relationship. You got to deal with some family issues.
I'm feeling personally called out, but yes, all of this is true. Sometimes people do have to go through that. And that's why I realized I needed help navigating all my own issues. And that's why I called our friends at BetterHelp. It was so super convenient because all I had to do was fill out a little survey online about things that I'm interested in, areas that I need help in, and they assigned me with a counselor immediately. And I've had a personal relationship with my counselor ever since because I can message at any time and schedule phone sessions or video chats with them at any time.
Well, in this month especially, BetterHelp Online Therapy wants to remind you to take care of your most important relationship, and that is the one that you have with yourself.
Whether it's hitting the gym, making time for your haircut, or even trying therapy, you are your greatest asset. So invest the time and effort into yourself like you do for other people.
BetterHelp is online therapy that does video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's so much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours.
Give it a try and see why over 2 million people have used BetterHelp Online Therapy. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and 13 A Taylor Swift Fan podcast listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/Taylor Swift Fan. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Taylor Swift Fan.
That's BetterHelp.com/Taylor Swift Fan.
I would like to point out, Anna, you know all the Taylor Swift lyrics right off the top of your head. You can just like name everything and it's super duper impressive. No, this is not a challenge. I'm not going to throw something at you. But I think I did a good job just quoting that clip right
You
there.
did.
You did great.
You did a great job. That was verbatim.
Too bad it wasn't a song.
Yeah, I know. Just all the information I don't have to have on me at the time.
Yeah, and then that's also when she said, like no one physically saw me for like a year. That's
whole year.
For
She went into hiding.
A whole year she went into hiding, and so then that kind of also leads into the karma theory that she scrapped whatever it was that she was working on and then wrote Reputation, because Reputation is very much a response to all of that. So she said, from now on, what she was going to do is let the music talk for her. She said there will be nothing but Reputation.
Yeah, she didn't do any interviews
No
the whole
interviews.
year.
And
It was very frustrating being in the media business. No interviews?
Yeah, she wasn't doing any interviews. She wasn't talking to anybody. It was basically just like her lyrics and like the prologues and the poems that she was giving us, and us as fans obviously being able to like interpret what she's meaning and things like that. So Look What You Made Me Do is the most direct response to the drama. I mean, the lyrics specifically talk about Kanye and his tilted stage. She's like, I don't like your tilted stage. Taylor also took the snake aesthetic and took the power back, because that's what made her go into hiding. But then on the Rep tour, we got the big snake, we got Karen, and like that was just the aesthetic of Reputation.
Yes.
So we never got that album in 2016, right, to follow the 2-year pattern, or an album that attached to the bleach blonde rock 90s vibe that she was sporting for the greater part of 2016. But we got Reputation in 2017. And then I cannot wait. One day we need to do an entire 5-hour podcast episode on just the Look What You Made Me Do music video.
It's going to be a 7-part. It might be its own season of podcast.
It needs to be its own season. I know it's going to have a lot of parts, but for the sake of this episode, to point out at karma, the idea of karma. So Taylor said before she released this music video, she did say that there are Easter eggs in this music video that we wouldn't understand for years. And I love that.
I don't.
I know. And there's still things that we just don't know.
Right.
And it's been years and I'm still wondering, whatever. But some of the notable things that we can point out for the karma theory is in the scene where you have all of the different Taylors in front of the airplane.
Yes.
There's one Taylor that's like in the back, like
Yes.
on the wing.
Not in line with all the other
Not
albums.
in line with all the other albums, right? Or all the other Taylors. We kind of just see her in the back. And on the like tail end of the plane, it's spray painted TS6. Which whenever like an artist is about to release an album, but we don't know the title of it, you just kind of do the initials and then the number. So TS6. People do that with Ariana Grande, like AG7, whatever. That's just kind of a popular way to refer to an album. Like right now, people are like HS3, referring to Harry Styles' 3 album, whatever. So it said TS6 on the plane. And so some fans also interpreted this as Taylor having to ground, like you ground a plane, ground the original plan for her 6th album, and then rewrite Reputation, because then you can see her spray painting Reputation on the plane. So the plane itself could symbolize the lost album, if you will.
And at one point, isn't she cutting the wings off of the plane?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you
she
say that
is.
and I missed it?
No,
No,
but
Okay,
I
was
remember
Googling
seeing
something
that.
as you were talking.
No. And then
I'm
there's-
also Googling.
and then there's also that. I think the plane is very, very convincing about karma. I think another very convincing part from the music video about karma is the scene where she's in like the bank vault.
Mm-hmm.
She's like
She has like a cat mask on or something.
she has like cat mask, like she's breaking into this like vault, right? And outside of the vault, there's like little stacks of gold, and there's 6 bars of gold all stacked together, kind of like to the side. So TS6, 6, whatever. And maybe the idea that that album is in the vault. Maybe one day she'll open the vault. I mean, we're getting songs, quote, from the vault. So it's like, are we ever going to get this entire album from the vault, or will we get those songs as like 1989 from the vault songs? Or
Right.
you know what
I've
I mean?
heard that there's a rumor that 1989 is going to have the most vault songs of any of her re-recordings. So I'm wondering if that's where they're going to go. I mean, Red had 10. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Which
if
could be an old
1989 has
album.
15 bonus songs, that's an entire album.
Because then I wonder, like, if karma is real, if the idea of the lost album is real, would you, if you're the artist, if you're Taylor Swift, you have probably these other songs that you were going to put on 1989, which would classify as 1989 vault songs. Do you release those and then tack on the Karma songs, or do you just release Karma as its own thing?
I think it depends on what it's about. What's the message,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the things why I do support the whole Karma album, that it is real, is that she has a few songs about Calvin Harris. She has a few. She mentions him a little bit. But, like, during Karma, that's where a lot of those songs would be.
Would have been, yeah.
Would have been, because that's when they would have broken up.
I forgot
Yeah.
that you existed.
No, I
forgot
mean,
that you
she does
existed.
say a few things. She talks about the expensive car, the Range Rover he drives and stuff, and getaway
yeah,
car.
yeah,
But, I
yeah.
mean, Calvin Harris was her longest relationship at that point.
To that
And
day,
we
yeah.
we didn't get a
Well, like,
ton about
It was
him.
kind of out of pattern,
Yes, exactly.
I guess. Yeah, and then there's just one other part there's a lot of parts of the music video, but in relation to the Karma theory, some fans think that the scene of her where she's like in the gold bird cage
Mm-hmm.
could signify Karma, that it's like locked up,
Okay.
essentially, like her. And in that scene where she's kind of like swinging in the bird cage, she's wearing this like beautiful orange outfit. And you know how every Taylor Swift album has a color?
There's no orange.
There's no orange album. And then in the Man music video on the wall with the spray paint, it says Karma really big in black. But above it, it also says Karma spray painted in orange.
Okay.
So that kind of connects
Yes.
that idea. And then there's a few like lyrics where she mentions Karma, which is she talking about the album? Maybe not, whatever. Like, and look what you made me do. All I think about is Karma. I like to think that maybe, she's thinking about the album. Which, like, we as fans kind of just named it Karma.
Yeah, I don't think she
ever did. We kind of just came up with that, and then we all discussed it online and figured it out that we're just going to refer to this lost album as Karma. A few years before Lover, in 2017, Selena Gomez posted a photo with Taylor for Taylor's birthday with the caption, "I'm glad you were born. You read all the thoughts that some aren't able to articulate," and then in parentheses, me, exclamation point. So when we got the song Me from Lover,
Exclamation point.
people were wondering, did Selena Gomez know about this song back in 2017? Was Me originally supposed to be on the Karma album?
Right, because that could have been on any album.
That could have been on any album, really. And then in Endgame, she has the lyric, "Reputation precedes me," which meaning like Reputation took priority
Precedes
over
me. Exclamation
point. So there is kind of like a little bit of hints here, a little bit of hints there. And then one of my favorite things is, because Taylor has said that she keeps tabs on her fans and she likes to know what we're saying and all our theories and stuff. And in the 73 Questions with Vogue video, one of the questions was, what do you think is a lesson everybody should learn? And she said, karma is real.
Wow.
Love it. And so I love that because whenever people bring up the karma theory, there's just always that clip of Taylor being like, karma is real. So is there an album that she scrapped, for Reputation? Possibly. I want to believe yes. I'm like 99.99999%. It's one of my favorite theories.
Absolutely.
Of all time.
I believe it's real.
I believe it's real as well.
I'm
Amy?
just selfish. I
Lacey?
want all of it. I believe in Karma and Woodville.
Oh, true.
Yeah. That could be that's another episode.
Amy, do you think karma is real?
I
is
do.
there a real lost album?
And I like the 90s rock idea, aesthetic. I liked Bleachella. I like all of it. I want all the different Taylors.
And Lacey, you said you think it's real too. So
Yes.
we're all convinced. We figured it out,
I wonder
guys.
if there's
This
any
is it. The
I
final
wonder if there are
decision
any
made.
fans that think, no, I don't think so.
I don't know that we'll ever see it.
Yeah. I don't know.
She has no reason to not put it out if she does have this album because everything she does makes a lot of money, breaks all the records. She's number one at everything. So it would only benefit her.
I don't know, but she's on top. And if she's on her way out and she's about to be like taking a long break so she can have a family with Joe, then why release something so out of the ordinary just to peace out? I don't know.
I mean, is it possible, like, let's say, she does have these 20 songs from the Karma album. It is possible that she, tacks them on as 1989 vault tracks.
Right.
Or on TS10, whatever her next new album is, following like Evermore. For all we know, whatever songs we get on that eventually could have been originally
So we need her
written.
to address it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I need
tell
her
us.
to just say straight up, like, these are songs that I wrote between 1989 Reputation. This was supposed to come out during my bleach hair era.
Is any of these questions about karma, are they on our list of questions to ask
I think
Taylor?
we have just straight up, is karma real?
Okay,
on
good.
our questions.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
I believe so. But yeah, thanks for coming into my TED Talk.
Amy, I wanted to tell you about this shirt from Taylor Fest that we saw, and they specifically said Amy would love this shirt, or I wore it for Amy, something like that.
Woodvale?
Yes, it said maybe I got lost in translation, maybe I asked for too much. And it had Woodvale.
It had Woodvale. It looked legit.
That.
It was cute.
Oh.
It was really cute.
Very, very
Do you
cute.
think they designed it themselves? Did they say?
No,
Or
it's
just bought
it was from Etsy.
That's cute.
They did send us the link if you want it.
I'm gonna have to look.
Well, that is it for this episode of 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. I know there has to be 100 Easter eggs and theories about things maybe we missed about Karma, so please tell us what we missed, what your favorite theory is about this. So hit us up. All the ways to contact us are in the description of this podcast, and be sure to join us next time because we're going to be breaking down the lucky one.
Thanks for listening to 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. Subscribe for free and leave a positive review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Google Podcasts.